Wineborough having turned round, and they're off. And they're off to a perfect start too, with O'Malley Point behind the others, but as his rider intended, and Scottish Flight is the early leader from Carrasco, and Floater on the far side, Brown Oak and Fresh Winds. And as they race towards the Melling Road now, it's Scottish Flight the leader from Floater, Brown Oak over on the far side, Kingstill on the sand side, and Kilmore well there in the centre. And with Scottish Flight just the leader on the stand side from Floater, Brown Oak and Fresh Winds, it's over to Peter Montague Evans.
And coming up now, this first fence. And Brown Oak is still one of the leaders, and so also is Griffel, Vivant right up with them. Coming up now to the second. Brown Oak and Fresh Winds, the two leaders. T-Feed right up on the inside, well placed. And right to the rear of the field, I can see Relief approaching the third now, and it's Brown Oak and Fresh Winds, the two leaders. Taxidermist well placed. So also on Vivant, Scottish Flight, Jimmeroo up there, and T-Feed. Now they're coming up now to the next, which is the fourth, and it's Brown Oak, the leader from Fresh Winds, the two of them clear of Kingstill, who's third, Scottish Flight fourth, Taxidermist is fifth, T-Feed is sixth, there comes Carrasco. Now this next fence is the one before Beaches, and it's Brown Oak, just the leader on the inside of Fresh Winds. They come up to it, Brown Oak's the leader, and Kingstill jumping then from T-Feed, Taxidermist, Scottish Flight, Carrasco, Jimmeroo. Now this next fence is Beaches, they're approaching it now, the two leaders. On the right is Brown Oak, on the left it's Fresh Winds. They come up now, they're only 50 yards from the mighty Beaches coming up to it, the two leaders. On the right is Brown Oak, and on the other side, and Fresh Winds came down, Carrasco is down there, Syracuse was hampered, and now it's Pouzon who is the leader from Scotland, rather correction, Fresh Winds is the leader, jumping the next fence from Pouzon. Severia right up now in third place, there comes Vivant fourth, Scottish Flight who is fifth. And Merriman, who's in sixth place, then come now to the canal turn, and it's Fresh Winds, who's the clear leader from Pouzon and Severia. They come up to it. Fresh Winds over, two loose horses behind him. Severia in second place, Pouzon blundered. Vivant is now third, Scottish Flight is fourth. Then comes Merriman, Taxidermist, and Kilmore well placed. Now Valentine's, and it was Fresh Winds over well clear of Pouzon on the inside, who's second. Then comes Severia on the outside with Vantages, who's third. Then Scottish Flight, the white cap, is fourth. Vivant fifth. Badenlock is sixth. Merriman is seventh. Now the fence after it is Fresh Winds, and Relief has fallen. And Fresh Winds the leader that time from Pouzon with Severia in third place. Scottish Flight is fourth, and we had another fall at that time, and that one Oscar Wilde. Now two fences now after Valentine's, and Fresh Winds, who jumped in brilliantly, a long way clear of Pouzon, is coming up now in second place. Scottish Flight is third, Merriman is now fourth. Then comes Badenlock, who's fifth. Kilmore is next, then Nicolaus Silver and Severia. Now the fence, the next one, and it's still Fresh Winds, although he brushed through it, he's a long way clear of Pouzon. Scottish Flight, Merriman with a noseband on the inside. Then comes Kilmore, Nicolaus Silver, Badenlock, Severia. Now going on now across the Anchor Bridge crossing, and it's Fresh Winds a long way clear of Pouzon with Scottish Flight, the white cap, in third place. Then comes Merriman, who's fourth, Badenlock, Nicolaus Silver, all well placed. And now it's over to Peter O'Sullivan and the grandstand.
30 lengths clear, Fresh Winds, and leading from Pouzon, Scottish Flight. Then comes Merriman. Just in behind Merriman is Kilmore, and then comes Badenlock and John Joe. And Fresh Winds now coming to the next, a good 25 lengths clear of Pouzon in second place. Then Scottish Flight, Merriman, just behind Merriman is Nicolaus Silver now. Severia well there on the outside, says Vivant, Kilmore, John Joe, Badenlock. Fresh Winds into this one. Over, well clear from Pouzon second, Scottish Flight's over next, Nicolaus Silver and Merriman, then Kilmore, then Badenlock, then Syracusa. And a lot of them standing now as they come to the next. And still Fresh Winds clear of Pouzon, has made up a little bit of ground. Then comes Scottish Flight, then Merriman, then Nicolaus Silver, then Kilmore. Then comes John Joe, Syracuse, Wineborough, Badenlock, then Ernest, then O'Malley Point, who's made ground steadily. Then Severia, then Oxo, then Mr. Watt, then Irish Coffee, then Vivant, then Team Spirit and Bantry Bay. And coming to the chair now, and it's Fresh Winds over from Pouzon over second, Merriman's over third, Scottish Flight's over fourth. Then comes Nicolaus Silver, Kilmore, John Joe, then Wineborough with Tim Brookshaw looking across to Ernest Ryther and a wide grin on his face. and Vivant's gone, Bantry Bay has gone, and over the water, and it's fresh winds clear of Imposant in second place. Scottish Flight is third, Merriman's fourth, John Joe's fifth, Kilmore is sixth, seventh is Nicolaus Silver, eighth is Baden Lock, ninth is Weinborough, 10th Ernest, 11th is O'Malley Point, 12th Syracuse, 13th Mr. Watt, 14th Irish Copy, 15 is Siberia, 16 Team Spirit, and now they're crossing the Melling Road again, and with the gap having been reduced considerably, it's still fresh winds the leader from Imposant. Merriman going up on the inside. Well, there is Scottish Flight still, with John Joe only just in behind him, and Kilmore there too, then Nicolaus Silver. Now it's fresh winds coming to this fence from Imposant, Scottish Flight and Merriman. With that order, over to Peter Montague Evans.
And over the 17th now, there's still fresh winds, who landed in front that time. Nicolaus Silver making headway. There's fresh winds from Nicolaus Silver, and they're closing rapidly now as they come up to the 18th. And it was still fresh winds who led that time. Nicolaus Silver now in second place. Then comes John Jones, made a lot of headway. Scottish Flight on the inside. The next fence, the 19th, in the ditch. Fresh winds who's fallen there, and it's Nicolaus Silver now, the grey, who shows in front. John Joe, the white blaze, in second place. Then on the outside is Weinborough going well as they come up now to this next fence, which is the 20th, the grey and Nicolaus Silver in the lead from John Joe on his inside. Merriman right up with them. These three are in just in front of Weinborough, and then comes Scottish Flight. This next fence will be the one before Beecher's, and the grey and Nicolaus Silver being pressed now by Weinborough on the left, Merriman on the inside. Over that fence was Nicolaus Silver and Merriman, the two leaders, with Weinborough in third place, Scottish Flight fourth. Then comes Kilmore and John Joe coming up now towards Beecher's, 75 yards to go. And it's Merriman on the right with a noseband who leads from Nicolaus Silver, Weinborough on the left of that trio. They come up now to Beecher's, Merriman just in front of Nicolaus Silver and Weinborough. Three of them over in front of Kilmore, who fourth, Scottish Flight is fifth, John Joe sixth. We've got O'Malley Point who's seventh, Batlock in eighth. Then Syracuse now the fence after, and it's Merriman 2 lengths in front of Nicolaus Silver, with Kilmore and Weinborough third and fourth, Scottish Flight fifth, and O'Malley Point who's sixth. Racing up now towards the canal turn, and it's Merriman who leads by just over 2 lengths, with the grey and Nicolaus Silver. In third place, going well is Kilmore, the Might of Freddie Winter, then Scottish Flight just in behind, over the canal turn, and Scottish Flight didn't take it too well. It's Merriman the leader still from Kilmore now in second place. Then comes the grey and Nicolaus Silver on the inside. Scottish Flight is fourth, Weinborough fifth, and O'Malley Point at Valentine's. Merriman the leader from Kilmore, Nicolaus Silver, Scottish Flight, O'Malley Point, and John Joe not making any headway at the moment. They have 5 more fences to be jumped, and Merriman is the leader from Kilmore. Nicolaus Silver is third, then Scottish Flight who's fourth. Still Merriman who led that time from Kilmore and Nicolaus Silver. Scottish Flight, O'Malley Point making little headway is fourth. John Joe now beginning to make ground, just coming up past Weinborough. They're fifth and sixth. 4 more fences to be jumped. It's Merriman who leads from Kilmore. Nicolaus Silver, the grey, John Joe brilliantly is third. O'Malley Point still making headway is fourth, having passed Scottish Flight who's fifth. John Joe is sixth, and these 6 are a long way clear of Syracuse and Baden Lock. Now this next fence, and it's Merriman with a noseband, the leader. Kilmore is second, the grey Nicolaus Silver is third, Scottish Flight blundered, O'Malley Point is still fourth, Scottish Flight is fifth, Weinborough is sixth, and John Joe is seventh. These 7 are 10 or 12 lengths in front now as they cross the Anchor Bridge crossing, with Merriman the second in the lead, Kilmore in second place. And then comes O'Malley Point, Nicolaus Silver, Scottish Flight, Weinborough, and John Joe is over to Peter O'Sullivan.
Still Merriman, but being very hard pressed by Kilmore and Nicolaus Silver. In fourth place is O'Malley Point, fifth is John Joe, sixth is Scottish Flight, then comes Weinborough, and these are well clear of Syracuse, Baden Lock. And now they're coming to the second last fence now. Merriman and the grey Nicolaus Silver. It's Merriman and Nicolaus Silver from Kilmore and O'Malley Point, still making ground steadily. Scottish Flight's not far behind them. John Joe's under pressure and making no progress. The second last fence. Merriman and Nicolaus Silver. And it's Merriman and Nicolaus Silver almost stride for stride there. O'Malley Point in third place. Kilmore is fourth. Scottish Flight is fifth. Weinborough is sixth. They're coming to the last fence now. And it's Merriman and Nicolaus Silver. Nicolaus Silver on the stand side, and Nicolaus Silver jumps it ahead of Merriman. And it's the grey Nicolaus Silver from last year's winner Merriman as they race up towards the line. It's Nicolaus Silver from Merriman. In third place is O'Malley Point. They've got 150 yards to run. Nicolaus Silver, the grey, ridden by Bobby Beasley. Merriman last year's winner and Derek Ansell racing desperately, both of them to the elbow now. It's Nicolaus Silver the leader and going away now. Scottish Flight is running on fast to the third place. He may just get up to third place, but 25 yards to run to the end of the 61 National. It's Nicolaus Silver from Merriman. 15 yards to run, and Nicolaus Silver is the winner. Merriman is just going to be second in front of O'Malley Point. Merriman second, O'Malley Point is third. It's a near thing between those two for second place in black. Scottish Flight was fourth, then Kilmore behind Kilmore, Weinborough, then John Joe.
At Aintree, they called it the Grand International. In the breeze flew the hammer and sickle, a sign that Russia has invaded one more field of sport. But it was the richest ever national, worth £20,000 to the winner. Also, the betting was heavier than at any time since the lush years just before the war. Among the runners, Carrasco came within the camera's eye. So did that great performer of last year, T-Fiend. All eyes now on the two Russian jockeys and their horses. On the small side for Aintree, where Reljev and his Iron Curtain companion, Griffel. And how the sporting crowd took them to its heart. But good sportsmanship didn't upset the punter's judgment. The racegoers weren't expecting the Russians to win. Among other handicaps, the Soviet horses were carrying top weight of 12 stone. They led the parade number 1 and 2, followed here by Merriman II, winner last year, and Mr. Watt, winner in 1958. There's no draw for the National. The horses line up as best they can behind the single tape. And there might have been trouble. Jimaroo lashed out at Merriman II, and Derek Ansell signaled to the starter. A nasty moment, but no damage. Then up went the cry. They're off. The going was firm, and what a relief that must have been for the 35 riders, with 4.5 miles to go and 30 jumps ahead. For those who didn't fall by the way. The first jump had its casualties, but fortunately it wasn't the massacre it's sometimes been in the past. But it was goodbye to Floater, Clover Bud and April Queen. On to the second jump with Brian Oak, Fresh Winds and Taxidermist leading the field. Along with the horses, our cameras soon showed that Fresh Winds and Brian Oak looked like a pair of outriders contemptuously in front of the rest. Not that the remainder had anything to worry about. No Grand National is ever in the bag at this early stage. Nearing the jump before Beechers, Kingstel and Ampassan were going well. So was Griffel, one of those Russian horses. And now they dashed on towards Beecher's Brook. Kingstel came to grief here. So did Brian Oak, Taxidermist and Griffel. Carrasco was out of it too. Russian jockey Prakov showed great courage and remounted Griffel. But it was only to take his mount off the course. Russia's hopes for a national win were almost over for this year. Into the canal turn with Fresh Winds leading from Ampassan and Savaria. Fresh Winds still in the lead at Valentine's Brook with a loose horse for company. Fresh Winds still going strong at the 10th fence, but the Russian horse Reljev made a mistake and was out of the race. Fresh Winds still clear of the pack at the 12th, but Ampassan was still going strong to lead the rest of the field. Into the water jump at the end of the first time round. Fresh Winds out in front and going well. Still in the lead is Fresh Winds as the field goes into the second circuit of this grueling Aintree course. Our mobile camera is with the pack as they approach the 19th fence. Fresh Winds still leading as they jump. But he's down, and now it's Nicolaus Silver in the lead with John Joe. Fence number 20, and the leaders are keeping up a cracking pace. It's still anybody's race. 9 jumps to go, and Merriman the second comes into the running with Nicolaus Silver and Weinberg on the far side as they go into jump 21. Into Beaches for the second time, and Nicolaus Silver and Merriman are just clear of Weinberg. Merriman leads as they go into the canal turn. Nicolaus Silver jumps wide and loses ground. It's still Merriman in front as they go into Valentine's, followed by Kilmore and Nicolaus Silver. Can Merriman repeat his last year's win? Merriman still leading with Kilmore and Nicolaus Silver close on his heels at jump 26. It's still the same order at the 27th. Reljeff's jockey taking the hard way home as what's left of the field come up to the last jump. Nicolaus Silver jumps ahead of Merriman. Handicapped by that 11 stone 12, last year's winner is tiring, while the grey goes better than ever, keeping his place for the long run in. Ahead of Merriman by 5 lengths, Nicolaus Silver wins the National. What a combination, Bobby Beasley and Nicolaus Silver, first grade to win the National for 90 years.